Hello! My name is Vilma and I am a knitter from Finland, and on my channel I make videos about knitting and the current knitting projects that I'm working on. And today I want to share what I have been knitting for the past 3 weeks. So even though today is actually a very warm spring day here, I'm wearing this pretty warm hat because I finished it. So I'm going to show the details when I'm not wearing it in a moment, but first I want to show how it looks like on my head. So this is the Run Rabbit Run hat by Lumikarmitsa, and you can see that it's a pretty slouchy hat. It has some length to it, and I made a little pom-pom for the crown. The ribbing is pretty stretchy. I think the size was for a 22-inch circumference, which is my head circumference usually, but this is pretty, I wouldn't say loose, like it fits on my head pretty well, but definitely not tight either, very comfortable. So maybe I should show the other side as well. Yeah, so I want to check my notes for the days when I actually finished this one and when I started it. So I cast on this hat on the 7th of November 2024, and I finished it on the 26th of March this year. It was my goal to finish it in March, and I'm very happy that I did. So now let me show some of the details a bit better. So the yarns that I used for this hat were from my stash. It is mainly British breeds by Mary Wallin. The main color here, and the white, the greens, the light brown of the rabbit, the orange, and the orange of the berries are all different shades of British breeds. I should have all of them listed on my Ravelry if you want to know the specific shades. And the dark brown here is Jamieson and Smith jumper weight wool. So most of the hat is worked on in stranded color work, and I used the recommended 3.25mm needles. And once I had finished the chart for the rabbits, maybe I'll show the other side as well. So once I was around here, that's when I duplicate stitched the berries on, because when you knit it, you use the same color that you use for the rabbit, and then you duplicate stitch the berries afterwards, because otherwise, if you wanted to do them like in color work, you would have to do some sort of kind of awkward intarsia. So duplicate stitching was definitely the way to go, in my opinion. And then after I had done those, then I finished the crown of the hat. And the reason that I wanted to do it that way, because I think the pattern suggests you to duplicate stitch at the very end, but I thought that it was easier to do it when the hat was still open at the top, because then I could easily check the other side as I was working on the berries. So if you want to make this hat, I would suggest to do it that way. I think it was pretty convenient. And the pattern has the option of doing a pom-pom or just leaving the crown plain. You do kind of rapid decreases at the end, and you cast off when you still have 21 stitches at the crown, which is quite a lot, so it creates this sort of pretty cinched in crown, and that was a big reason why I wanted to do the pom-pom, because in my opinion the crown isn't the most attractive. I think I personally would prefer it to be a bit smoother, but on the other hand the hat does have quite a lot of length already, so I understand why the decreases, you want to do them pretty quickly at that point. But overall, I'm very happy with this hat. I'm really happy with my color choices. And yeah, today I kind of wanted to match the greens to my green siskonpaita sweater. Let me also show you the wrong side, the inside. So you can see I have woven in all of the ends, also for the berries, and yeah, I have to say I'm pretty happy with my tension. I think it looks pretty neat, if I say so myself. So even though right now it is already a bit too warm to wear this hat outside, I can still wear it when I'm riding my bike, and yeah, I definitely have it ready for next autumn. So this I'm really happy with. This was a win in my books, definitely. So you might already be wondering by the title of the video, if that was my win, then what is going to be my fail? And that is going to be my Tampere sweater by Anna Strandberg, which I was hoping to have as my second finished object for this video. But it is quite far from finished. In a way, I feel like it's further away from being finished than it has ever been. Because if you are a returning viewer, you might recall that for many times I have noted that I made a mistake right on the front of the sweater. But I was kind of convincing myself that, oh, I'm not that bothered by it, and I want to see how it looks like after blocking. But the further I kept on knitting, I had to be honest with myself and admit that I was really bothered by the mistake, and if I was going to finish the sweater with the mistake, it would always bother me when wearing the sweater. So I had to do something about it, and of course maybe the most obvious answer would be just frogging the whole sweater, but I really didn't want to do that because I had already finished one sleeve, and I mean the ribbing on the body was so tedious, and then it's bound off with a tubular bind off, as well as the sleeves, so I really didn't want to undo all of that work, and I honestly figured that I would rather do a lot of other work for the sweater, but just not frog those parts. You might already guess where this is going. I decided to do some sweater surgery, and now I'm going to show the sweater in its current form. So a little content warning for a massacred sweater. So this is the body, the lower part of it, and so yeah, I basically cut across the sweater below the mistake, and yeah, I had to also cut off the sleeves as well, kinda, in as if it was a circular yoke in that sort of form. So this is the bottom half, looking pretty good, and I have it on some cord. So this one doesn't require anything, it's just kinda waiting to be united to the top again. Then the top is looking pretty rough. So here is the top. So I unraveled all of the rows that were bothering me, that had the jog in the front there. So to recap, the entire mistake that I did here was that when you join in the round, the neckline, the beginning of the round is then here. And the pattern doesn't really hold your hand and say, now beginning of the round is in this other spot. It doesn't say that, so you have to figure out yourself that, hey, the beginning of the round is in front of the sweater, I should probably move the beginning of the round to the side or to the back. So I didn't do that, and it came back to bite me when I started, let me show the bottom again, when I started doing these pearl kind of stripes. So you do like 2 pearl, 2 knit rows to create these ridges. And so when the beginning of the round was in the front, you could see when I switched from knitting to purling and vice versa. And I realized as I was knitting it that it was going to create that jog. So I tried to do one of those little tricks where you kinda, I don't remember anymore how I did it, but I think I knit together the stitch of the last stitch of the current round and then the first stitch of the next round. But maybe if I had knit this in a dark color it would have worked, but in the white color it was still really visible and it bothered me. So now the plan is I'm going to knit the top again, and then I'm going to Kitchener stitch the top to the bottom and to the sleeves. So basically I have to Kitchener stitch all around the sweater. Let me show you the sleeves as well. Ooh, this one still has some unraveling to do. So this is the finished sleeve, and this is still part of the sweater that I have to unravel. Oh, maybe here, yes, there. I don't know how well you can see, but those are the mistakes. And probably on camera it doesn't look that bad, but trust me, on the sweater and right in front here, it was really visible. So, yeah, and the other sleeve I'm still working on. It's still on the needles here. And yeah, like you can vote in the comments whether you think I'm going to salvage this sweater or not, because I personally, I don't know if this is going to work out, but I mean, worst case scenario, I just have to frog the whole thing in the end, which isn't the end of the world. And best case scenario, I am going to get a cute and wearable sweater out of this. But this is definitely going to be like a master class in Kitchener stitch when I get to that point. Especially because in the past I have felt that my Kitchener stitch often looks a bit sloppy, or how would I say, like uneven. It's either too loose or too tight, and it just doesn't look as neat as I would like. So for this sweater it has to be neat. It cannot be sloppy. So if nothing else, it's going to be a teachable moment. But yeah, I definitely want to finish this sleeve, but after that I might take a little break from this project because it has I mean, even though I'm not quitting on it, I am continuing, but it definitely has felt like a big failure. So I feel like I need a win, I need a new cast on, I need something to boost my knitting spirits. And also because at this point that sweater is going to take quite a long time to finish, and it will probably be finished in like summertime, and it's going to be too warm to wear. So maybe after finishing the sleeve I will just put it aside until autumn. I don't know. I haven't really made up my mind yet. Oof. But yeah, so mostly for the past few days I have been just unraveling that one. But I do have some progress on my second whip, which is the Aran cardigan by Hitomi Shida. It is from this book, which is kind of like a stitch dictionary of Hitomi Shida's cable and lace patterns, but it also has a few garment patterns. So this is the cardigan that I'm making. I don't know if I'm showing it perfectly. So it has a couple of different cable patterns, all over cables, and I'm knitting it on 3.5 millimeter needles in, I have to check the label. The yarn I'm using is Puralana Ecologica by Cesia, so an Italian yarn. And it's in this light brown color, 50% wool and 50% alpaca. And this is where I'm currently at. So this is the back piece. The cardigan is knit in pieces and then sewn together. And I have to knit, or I have to, according to the pattern which I choose to follow, you knit the cable pattern for 33 centimeters before the armhole decreases. And right now I have a bit over 17 centimeters. So I definitely still have more knitting to do before the armhole decreases. I haven't been working so much on this lately because I finished the hat and then I have been dealing with the sweater. But yeah, hoping to continue on that one. And yeah, like I mentioned with the sweater, I am also hoping to cast on something new very soon. I feel like I need some change and variety in my knitting at the moment. But yeah, I'm trying to not be too like weighed down by the failure of that sweater. And I mean, honestly, if I had just ripped back when I first realized my mistake, I would have saved myself so much trouble. So I really have only myself to blame for my current situation. But yeah, I mean, with knitting you can't always succeed in every project, and I know that if I do pull off the Kitchener stitch solution, I'm going to be so proud of myself. I'm going to be so happy for figuring that out. So I just need to get there. But yeah, that was all of my projects this time. I would love to know, have you had any recent knitting wins or fails? And what are you working on at the moment? And have a lovely spring or autumn time wherever you are located in the world. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!